Welcome back, everybody, to The Fort. I just got done doing a couple of auditions that came up. One was due, well, one I did it earlier. This one's due today, later today. It's currently 2 o'clock in the morning. You might be asking, why again am I up late doing recordings? To be honest with you, it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit quieter. Not as many planes flying overhead. Again, I am here in my fort. I'll explain to you why I call it the fort in a quick minute here. But the idea of a sound booth is supposed to be make it soundproof. The materials I am using, because soundproofing materials are a little bit more expensive, are actually just moving covers. These are all moving covers that I currently had, so it was minimal cost to get started up. And that's the thing about starting up and doing voiceover work. It can be costly, and so if you have a very small budget and a very tight budget, um, yeah, you make do with what you can do. And so I created my fort because as a kid, as many of you may have, what'd you do? You made forts. We made forts out of blankets. We made forts out of couch cushions. I even personally made a fort out of my bed, which I don't recommend, especially using it as a boardwalk to go from one bed to the other bed, because then when it collapses in the middle, one, it's not strong enough to hold a child up. But two, when you do that, it creates weird creases in the bed itself, and then the mattress is never really the same. So don't do that. Don't use the bed, or at least don't use the bed as a crosswalk. But this is my fort, and when I started off, like I had said in my last video, I have a very small, it's just a small plastic like camping table, essentially is what it is I'm using. And I would scoot right up into my closet. I would just kind of spread my clothes out a little bit, shove the table as far in as I could go, and I would just set up my computer and set up my microphone, and I would record. And talking into my clothing, it worked out okay. It got rid of that front muffled, sound, and I thought, yeah, now I'm cooking with fire. We're working. It's going good. Um, until I got to a louder part. And I forget what the audition was, but I had to be a little more boisterous, a little bit louder. And, it sounded good. I'm like, yeah. But then I spent the money on headphones, so I could hear the quality of what was coming through, the sound was coming through. Because when I started off with just the microphone. Again, trying to keep costs down, and I was trying to use Bluetooth headphones, bone conduction ones. And then I read all of the reviews. Oh, don't do this. It's not good. It's not quality. Blah blah blah. And I went, okay, fine. So I spent the money. I got the headphones, and wow, what a difference! I could hear the clarity in the microphone in front of me, but I could literally hear the sound of my voice echoing off the ceiling in the bedroom. So so that was kind of a sobering moment. I was like, oh. So then I knew, I'm like, okay, I gotta spend more money. And again, it makes it so tight. It makes it so hard, especially in the beginning. Um, and so I set up, I needed another area, but I was like, well, what am I going to do? Most of sound, it's not really a booth, but they do sell sound booths. We'll just call it a booth. It's not a physical wooden booth or anything. It's basically just PVC pipe, laid out in a square, and actual soundproofing covers. Because they have the foam pads, which are super soundproofing, and then they have actually covers that are pretty much just like these. Now the difference is I got most of these from Harbor Freight, and these cost me like $3-4 a piece. So it's like, yeah, and I already had a bunch of them, so I didn't really need to purchase any others. The only bad part was I found on the later side, they had been in the garage for a while, covered in dust. And I didn't find that out until after I made this structure, my fort, and my cat would get up on top and lounge around and knocked all the dust down onto my workspace. And I was like, oh, crud. Um, So I made some changes and shifted some stuff around, and made it all work. I got the dusty stuff put outside and shook it off, and I did all that fun stuff. Um, but yeah, so then I was coming up with, well, I have these covers. I figured out the structure I needed. I need, at minimum like a 4 foot by 3 foot space based off the table and how much room I need behind me to close bin behind me, because the back is my open area. And then I wanted at least about 6 feet high. So I was figuring out my structure. I was doing my drawings. And then I started pricing out PVC pipe, and I was figuring on 1 inch pipe. And it was going to cost quite a bit with PVC. But I figured, on the back end of it, as things started working out and money was coming in or whatever, I could take that PVC, and it's the same 1 inch PVC I'm using out in the garden. I'm using for water in the back hill and the lawn, all that. So I'm like, great, I can just transition this PVC into a usable PVC. And I was talking with my wife, and I'm like, I just need a structure. I just need something that will hold it up. And why I didn't think of it in the first place, just beyond me. She goes, and I said, I need something like what our daughter has for a clothing rack. And so she busts up Amazon, starts looking it up. She goes, how about something like this? Here, I found it for, oh gosh, what did she find it for? Like $20. It's like $20 a piece, something like that. And I'm like, well, that's perfect. It's 6 foot tall. It's like 5 foot wide. It's elevated. I'm like, perfect. That'll work. And so I went through Amazon, because now I was onto it. The wife kicked out the idea for me, and so I started looking for cheaper, because I didn't need anything fancy. I don't need a super strong or anything. And so I found them for, I think it was about $14 a piece. I think it was. And so I ordered 4 of them. Again, I didn't need 4. I'm only using 3, so it worked out perfectly because the fourth one went as a Christmas gift to the boy, to my son. So now he's got his clothes hanging up instead of having to put them on in the dresser or wherever he's putting them. Anyway, so so I have my 3. I set up my 3, and then they have wheels for them. So when I overlapped them, so I have 1 at the front, 2 on the sides, obviously. So when I overlapped them, then they were awkward because they were all the same height. So all I did was I removed the wheels off the front one, which made that lower, and that allowed the other 2 sides to go over the top. And then I just systematically just took my covers and I looped them over the edge. Again, I went to Harbor Freight, and I got clips. Christmas sale, 99 cents for these clips. Actually, you can see one. Oops, I can see you up in there. You can see one, maybe can you see one? I don't know. There's one back here on the clip, so you can see the outside there. I just put clips in different places to hold it on in place, and then I put a couple covers over the top. It is definitely a sound deafening system, not a sound proofing system. I can be sitting in here recording during the daytime, and I can hear planes flying overhead, because we're in line. I mean, they're up quite a distance, but we're in line for the flight path to LAX. So, like I said, there's still several miles. It's still like 22 miles or 12 miles, I don't know, something like that, to LAX from where I am. And so it makes a difference. And so that's why I will do a lot of my recordings more in the evening, late hours. There's less going on. For instance, my neighbor, her gardener was there today, and he was out there with a chainsaw cutting up a tree or something. I have no idea what the heck he was cutting up. But there's a lot of noise going on. I can hear the cars going by in front of the house here. So in the evening hours, it makes it a little bit easier to produce a quieter audition, which is what you want. Because the microphone is a very sensitive microphone, picks up a lot of noise. And I can control through what's called an interface, the input, some of the input that's coming in the microphone, what it picks up, and what it doesn't pick up. But a key aspect is a soundproof area or a sound deadened area. And I definitely get that with my Fort. And so I'm very proud of my Ford. I need to do some work on it. Again, the ceiling is kind of coming in a little bit because my cat Knox, he likes to jump up there. I was messing with him the other day, and he was attacking or trying to attack my hand through all these moving covers. Um, but yeah, like I said, Harbor Freight, these moving covers, $3-4 as opposed to the actual covers, which those are like $35 for this. It's the same size, but it's got a different sound deadening quality to it. And so I will need to spend the money to upgrade and get a booth, an actual booth, the PVC ones I mentioned, with the covers, the actual covers. Um, I've found one for like $205, something like that. I've seen a little bit bigger one for like $230, and they go up obviously depending on the level of booth that you get. You can get an actual like booth, and that can be quite a bit more up in like the fours and fives. And I'm way far away from that. I'm still again in my infancy of this little adventure of mine, which is again is pretty cool. It's fun. I've done auditions for Taco Bell. I did an audition just yesterday for NASCAR and Jack Links, which was really fun. That one was kind of cool. Just all kinds of different things. But when I start getting some of these national, these large brands, I'm like, oh hey, I know what this one is. It's really kind of cool. Not that I've gotten. I did one for the cheddar bowl. No, sorry, the citrus bowl, and it was for the cheddar. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the chips right now, but it was the cheddar. The I know someone's screaming, "It's this," and I can't think of it right now. Again, it's 2:20 in the morning, so I was up until 6:30 yesterday. So, and I took like an hour nap, so for the day. But I thought about what I did yesterday video wise, and my welcome video. And I thought about it today. I'm like, you know what? I want to explain what my Ford is, what my soundproof booth is, what is important for you. Again, if you are getting into this as I am into this in the beginning stages, you will need to make an investment. Start off small. Don't go out and buy all the expensive stuff. Spend if you're spending money on something, make sure it's on a quality microphone, a quality interface, which allows you to connect from the microphone to the headphones into the computer all in one box. Because in the beginning it was just the computer and the microphone. I skipped the interface because I was told I could skip the interface. Um, Truth be told, I couldn't skip the interface. This is a nice. This is not the nicest quality. This is like a low to mid range. It's a Rode NT1 microphone with a pop filter and an XLR cable and all these fancy terminology things. And the quality of this microphone compared to what I first used, which is actually my cell phone, what I'm using as a camera right now to record. I thought, oh, it's a Fold, it's the Fold 7. It's got a good quality microphone on it. And I did my first initial recording, like I said, back when I started November 15th, November 15th. When I opened up my Voices account, it said, "Hey, leave a little welcome voice, so that way the people who are putting out their auditions can hear your voice." I stepped into my closet. I made as clean of a recording as I could. I listened to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds clean. That sounds so good, right? But what was I listening to on? I listened to on my Bluetooth headset, and I threw it out there for people to hear. And there's been at least three groups that have listened to it. So I don't know what companies have listened to it, but it's been heard 3 times. And so after I went out and I got the headphones and I got the microphone and the interface and everything, I went back through and I listened to it again, and oh my god, it's atrocious, like absolutely atrocious. You hear these pops and crackles and it sounded like I was recording on like a 1940s radio announcer thing. It was horrible. And I was just like, oh my God, three companies 3 vendors have listened to that. So then I went into panic mode. I was like, oh my God, I have to get this thing off. And I haven't played around with my Voices account a lot yet. I've been doing it more and more, getting more familiar with it. And I couldn't find out how to delete it. And finally, I went through and just the other day, and I was actually able to find where I can add more demos. And so I'm like, yeah, I need to add more demos. And the demos is just voices. You're making more voices and, giving categories. And I'll go over more of that later. But I finally found the golden goose, the delete button. So I could probably be persuaded to put up that first demo onto my YouTube page here so you can hear it because I'm going to re-record it. I'm going to make another one with the same message, and I can put it up so you can hear side by side. Now, again, I don't know if you might hear the differences going off of your whatever you're listening to, whether you're listening to it directly off your phone or whether you're listening to it off of a headset. But it definitely is a wake up call listening from a Bluetooth bone conduction headset to a higher quality. I think these were like $100. Sony, whatever these are, Sony something or rather, if somebody could see it. But they're a studio quality headphones. Again, trying to be on the lower side of money, but having to go with a quality side of it as well. And again, trying to save with this, there's parts of this. This is a condenser microphone with a preamp in it. So I was told, you don't need to get the interface, which is your preamp. But I couldn't get the microphone to connect correctly to my computer. It wasn't recognizing it. So once I got the interface and plugged it all in, it popped right up, and I started making a whole lot more better recordings, which I kind of mentioned the other day in my previous one. Is just the difference of the quality, total difference. But anyway, so the whole idea of this was my fort. And, I'm just going to go through different things. I will eventually show you all around my fort. I'll even show you the outside of my fort. I just can't do it right now. We are in the process of cleaning up our Christmas stuff. So the area around me is actually the Christmas tree is right over here to my left. So the Christmas tree over here, dining table over here. I would get killed by my wife, or unalived, as the kids say these days. I would get unalived by my wife if I were to do a video showing the cleanup process of our Christmas stuff. So once we get everything cleaned up, then I'll show you, excuse me, the outside of my fort, and then just what I've set up, what I use, my lighting, my very simple lighting. I got it off of Temu, and that's actually my emergency lighting for at home in case of blackouts and stuff, power failure, stuff like that. But I'll just go over all the different things that I have, and just how I'm starting out. Again, this is to go along with my journey of doing this voiceover work, and so far I'm having a lot of fun. Like I said, so far I've put in 35 auditions now, and of those 35, I know there was 8. There might be 9 that have actually been listened to. So it's really exciting, really kind of encouraging. I will tell you this, and then I'll let you guys go. I know I'm going on for almost 20 minutes now. Kind of a little, hopefully a good sign for me, because you put in your auditions, the vendors can listen to it and they move on to the next one, or they can listen to it and I guess put you on a short list, and then they take that short list and pick from that short list. So I haven't made any short list ones yet, but fingers crossed. And so just hopefully it's a good sign, an omen. I did mention that I did for NASCAR and Jack Links, and I put that one in yesterday or today, I forget. And so on my way home, we stopped at Sam's Club, did a little bit of shopping, and I bought a package of chicken. Well, I don't like putting chicken, whether it's in the bag or not, just on the floor in the truck, just because of in case it leaks. So Sydney was with me. I said, "Hey, grab a box, so that way we can set this package of chicken in it." She's like, "Okay." So we get all our stuff, we get cashed out, we walk out, and usually outside the door, Sam's Club, they have these carts just filled with boxes. They were empty, except for one box. And I said, "Well, grab it." It's way larger than what we needed, but I'm like, "Grab it." So she goes over, she grabs it. We get over the truck, throw it in the back of the truck, loading up everything, and we come home, get everything offloaded. And it wasn't until we got everything offloaded, I looked at the box, and it was a box for Jack's Links. And I went, "Is this a sign? Is this a good omen?" So I cut out one of the little things. This is Jack Links. So hopefully, it's a good sign. It's an omen. Like I said, there's only one box available. We grabbed it, and it's a Jack's Links box for an advertisement I had just done and submitted, last night. So hopefully, I'll have some good news, and even if it's just making the short list, that's another step, which is fantastic. It's awesome. Um, I am excited for again how many things are coming up. It's fun. It's pretty cool. And I'm just excited and anxious to get that first short list, and then that eventual, "Hey, we want to hire you." So a lot of good things. I saw a lot of you. I put my video up on my other Facebook page today. I've created a new Facebook page for my voiceover. I've created a TikTok page for my voiceover. I've created an Instagram for my voiceover. I'm going to put the links at the end of this. Um, It'll be in my bios. I'm new to all this too. I'm not sure how to do it all. I'm working with CapCut, which I used to work with CapCut when I was the spokesman for Black Series Campers. I don't know if you guys knew that. I did company spokesman work for the last company I worked for, which is cool. I was doing all our videos and stuff, and I was doing it all in CapCut. And I got pretty darn good with it. But now I'm doing it on the computer, and it's been a couple years. So I'll put everything together. We'll put it up. And thank you for those of you who watched and liked. Thank you very much for those of you who gave me this message of encouragement. That means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the encouragement and the push. I really appreciate it, and it helps me keep kind of going forward. And then I was really excited about doing this video, which you could probably tell because now I've been talking for like 22 minutes. And if you know me, I like to talk. And usually I get told, "Stop talking, let's go," because, I'm usually still talking 20 minutes into, "Oh, we're leaving now." So thank you so much. I will put out the links for, again, the Facebook, the Instagram, and the TikTok. Feel free to please. And also my YouTube. Please like and subscribe on those. That helps me. It helps me see my progress and how things are going. Don't feel pressured to do that if you don't like to, if you don't wish to, and that's okay. I'm not gonna do that blanket. Hey everyone, I that option came up with Facebook, or I think it was Facebook, to invite everybody, and I didn't want to do that. Over the years I've befriended many people. I think I got like 672 friends on my Facebook page. And some people I'm still kind of in contact with, and other people I'm not really. And so I don't want to throw it out there and say, "Hey," if they don't have an interest in it. So I'll probably put it on my regular Jim Buck Facebook page with the links, and feel free to click like. Please click like. Subscribe if you'd like to. Again, I enjoy seeing the likes come up. The likes, the loves, the thumbs ups. Those are all cool to see, when you're doing something like this. And I really appreciate it. I enjoy it. And for those of you who I have befriended through Facebook, it makes my heart feel full, because it allows me to still see you guys. I may not talk to you. I may not see you every day. or every year or ever, but it allows me on a familial standpoint to kind of see what you guys are up to as a family. And that's why I like the family platform aspect of it. I know a lot more stuff gets put up there on Facebook. I don't care for a lot of the stuff that gets put up there, and I'll scroll past it. I try to make sure I'm not putting up comments, because as soon as you put up a comment, then everyone just comes in, and that's not what I'm about. I don't want to do that. So thank you again. Please consider at least liking it, liking and subscribing. Consider subscribing to my Facebook, my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok. All that stuff. I would really appreciate it. But again, don't feel pressure to it. I'm totally cool with that too. But at least just like the videos, then that's kind of cool to see. Okay. So until the next time, if you guys got something, hey, what do you tell us more about the microphone, or hey, what lighting are you using, or whatever. If you guys have questions or something you want to try to see, or let me know, and I'll try to answer the question. I did do some video of me doing audition earlier. I'll put that up. I won't use the audio because I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's like a non-disclosure agreement type thing or what. I don't know. But I'll do that. I'll put it up just so you can see just kind of what I'm doing visually, and I'll talk over it or whatever. So, okay. Um, Take care. Be well. Be good. Be safe. Keep having a safe 2026. And thanks for sticking out, and thanks for listening. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye bye. Oops. Now I gotta figure out how to turn you off. Uh oh. My mouse died. Hold on. I got the mouse on my other screen. All right. Here we go. Bye bye, guys. Take care.